What happens when two branches change the exact same file, the exact same line, and they effectively conflict with one another when you try and merge them back together? Well, this is what we call a merge conflict, and we're going to take a look at how we can resolve that in this particular video. So what we're going to do next is check out another feature branch. This is the feature welcome branch. And this branch was once again based on our original master. So it goes all the way back to where we started today's lesson. And you can go ahead and check out this branch so that you're tracking the remote origin feature welcome branch. And you can run the git diff master command to see what changed. So I'm going to have you pause here, go ahead and run these commands, and then we'll pick back up at this point in just a moment. And as a quick reminder, I want to point out that these backslashes allow you to write long commands on multiple lines. So this is a single command, or you can just write these as a single line if you omit the backslash between each point. Okay, so I've gone ahead and checked out the remote origin feature welcome branch. So we're tracking that branch, and we see that we've got this third branch here in our list of branches. And now what I'm going to try is diffing. So git diff master, the master branch. And we can see that once again, we're comparing the current branch that we're working on was based on an earlier state of the program where it was less challenging. But notice that there's these lines here, and this is what I want to focus on because this is where the conflict is going to reside, where we added a welcome to my awesome game message in the version that we're working on, and updated the out of 511. But in the previous, or in the branch that we're working on, it was trying to make a really beautiful opening welcome message. Notice all these really, really nice tildes. And this welcome message that says, welcome to the binary search game. And so this was the feature that this branch was working on. And what we'd like to have is we want to merge such that we have the new, really pristine, beautiful welcome message. But also we want to make sure that our game is out of 511, which is the way the logic is set up in the branch that we're merging with. All right. So I'm going to press Q to quit out of that diff. And let's talk about how do we actually resolve, how do we start a merge and get notification that we're in a conflicting state, and then how do we resolve that? Okay, so again, if we're going to merge this feature welcome branch into master, we need to check out master so that our head is on master, and then try merging it. All right, so git checkout master and git merge no fast forward and feature welcome. Right? And so notice that it says it's trying to auto merge main.c, but there's a conflict. There's a merge conflict in main.c, and so this automatic merge failed. It says fix the conflicts and then commit the result. So it's trying to tell you how to resolve the state that our repository is in. But really the other place that you always kind of want to default back to if you find yourself asking, or if you ever are asking yourself, where am I, or what is the current state of my Git repository, Git status will tell you, right? And so here it tells us we're on branch master. We have unmerged paths, right? And we have to fix conflicts and then run git commit to bring them there. Or notice it is giving us an out here. It's telling us we can abort this merge if we want to abort it, right? So if we wanted to back out of this, we realize, you know what, this is not something I want to deal with right now. Git is telling us how to do that. We're not going to do that in this video, but if you wanted to try it, go for it. And then you just run the git merge no fast forward again. And then it's telling us, okay, here are the things that we couldn't merge. These are the unmerged paths. And both of the branches that we modified main.c in areas that conflict. All right, so let's go see what exactly this is telling us and how to resolve this. All right, so what I'm going to do is open up main.c, and I'm going to use Control W and J to move down to the pane that's covering my screen up, and then a :Q to Okay, so let's open up main.c and look at what this conflict is telling us. So if we open up main.c, We see some errors here because there's some annotations added. So I'm going to close this by saying location close. So :L close will cause that panel to disappear and get out of our way for now. And if we scroll down, we can see that there's some annotations added to our file that Git put these annotations in our file to say, here is where a conflict occurred, right? And what it's telling us is head, which is on master, right? This is where the master branch is. And these are the contents of these lines that were conflicting in the master branch. Welcome to my awesome game. I'm thinking of a number between 0 and 511. But in the feature welcome branch, notice below these equal symbols, these are what were in the feature welcome branch, right? And so our job when we resolve a merge conflict is to be the human and use reasoning to decide, well, what gets to stay and what has to go, right? Git is putting both files contents, both branches contents here for us to decide what we want to keep and what we don't want to keep, okay? So I'm going to delete this line here. So I'm thinking of a number between 0 and 511. So I'm going to use DD to delete that whole line. I'm going to go down below this new beautiful welcome message and press P to paste it in. Right? And so that's looking good. And then I'm going to use DD again to get rid of the previous message from the feature welcome branch and get rid of welcome to my awesome game as well, because we've got this new welcome message that we want to use. Okay, and so now what do we do with these annotations? Well, we've got to clear those out as well. So I'm going to use DD to get rid of those as well, and maybe insert a new line there and try saving my program with :W. Right, and so your goal is to remove any annotations that get added. Those are those greater than symbols, less than symbols, and the equal symbols that try and tell you here's what's coming from which branch, and decide what gets to stay. And so here is the final result, what I'm deciding to resolve this merge conflict with. So I'm going to save this. And now if I run git status again, we still have to finish making this merge commit. So it's telling us this is still unmerged. So what do? I add main.c to staging, and I run git commit and commit with a message of merge feature welcome into the master branch, right? And so now we've made that merge successfully. And if I once again do git log one line graph, we can see that this is starting to get a little bit complex, but notice the feature welcome branch was merged into master, and now we've got a history of that as well. And so there's a slide that gives you some reference here in the deck today on what we just did and how we resolved that conflict. But the idea is essentially when you have a merge conflict, it's going to be up to you or your team to resolve it before you can actually make a commit that would bring those two branches together. So you're kind of stuck in this limbo area in a merge conflict state where you need to actually fix the conflicts and then finish making that commit before this merge commit would actually appear in your repository. And so that's what we just did. All right. As I mentioned, we've created a bit of a mess here. So in the future, in an upcoming lecture, we're going to talk about how do we resolve some of the ugliness of these overlapping branches that seemed to sort of circle around each other in our history of this repository. How might we, before we merge in a feature like, say, feature welcome, how might we say, you know what, this was based on a commit that was out of date. We're going to make this based on a more recent version of our repository, and we'll be looking at that in a video very soon.